not only the things happened in Indonesia, also the things happened in the world. I checked the website last night. I saw there are several of the scholars from United Kingdom, from Spain, and from several other countries like Malaysia. They could also share their ideas to you. So for me, I think it's quite a good opportunity. I'm so jealous of you because in my age, at the same age of yours, I do not have this kind of opportunity to see the international scholars. All right. So by the request from the Dr. Dia, we are going to teach you, or we're going to share something about the sufficiency economics. Okay. It is, we call it natural resources and environmental economics. But before that, I have to let you know something. Dr. Dia ever said we suffer a lot of things have together in our PhD studies. So I'm telling you, I am Chinese. Actually, I am Chinese, working in Thailand for almost 10 years. Means like I am not a Thai. So for preparing this kind of a sufficiency economics, I have to read tons of work for you. All right, for today's talk. But before that, I would like to ask you as well. Uh, Tell me what you know about Thailand before you come here, or before you know this country. Did you ever hear something about Thailand? What do you know about
Yes.
Thailand? Yes, go
Pad,
ahead, ma'am.
Pad Thai, the food.
Pad Thai, okay, Pad Thai, the fried Thailand, right?
Yeah.
The fried noodle. This
Mm.
is the food. So what
Yeah.
else? What else? Is there anybody else could answer the question? Do you know this one?
Green tea.
No. The special leaves?
Why? Not sure.
No. It's marijuana.
Oh,
Now,
marijuana.
now in Thailand, now in Thailand, it is legal to plant these kind of things, but only for medical use. For medical use, it is now okay. And this is a brand. This is a brand we called Ichitan. Sorry, this is the brand of the of the of the beverage, and this company got the authorized from the government to produce this kind of special drinks to make you feel, oh, I'm in the heaven. I tried to think this way, so I bought this kind of a drink, but actually no, nothing happened after I drink it. I drink it, I think nothing happened. So Thailand is a country full of amazing things, such as the fried pad Thai, fried Thailand. And what kind of cities do you know in Thailand? Hmm.
Bangkok.
Bangkok, of course, this is the capital city, such as the same level of the Jakarta, the capital city of the country. All right, so what we're going to do, sufficiency economics. As I told you, I am not a Thai, so I also need to read something. In order to let you guys know, understand the topic easily, I'm going to be a storyteller. I'm going to tell the story from the history until now. Okay, why Thailand need sufficiency economics? So, by the historical talking, we're going to let you guys know something about national economics and the social development plan. All right, what is that? And what is the new theory of the agriculture? All right, and what is sufficiency economics? As Dr. Dia said, sufficiency economics, it is something happened long time ago, but the national economic and social development plan is even longer. We're having these kind of things to let you guys know why we're going to have the sufficiency economics and why what happened between sufficiency economics with natural resources. All right. So this is the geographic map. As I am the lecturer ever studied geography for 7 years, so let me tell you, from Thailand to Yogyakarta, we are in the same continent, but the landscape and the territory, Indonesia is 4 times bigger than Thailand. Okay. And Indonesia is the country full of the islands. It is the country with the biggest number of the islands in the world. But Thailand also has a lot of land and also has a lot of islands. But compared with the big country, Indonesia, we are a younger brother. We're smaller. Okay. As I ever ask you what you knew about the cities in Thailand, you said you know Bangkok. Yes. Do you know some other cities such as Pattaya? Do you know Pattaya? Yeah, I think in the world everybody knows the several cities in Thailand such as Bangkok and Pattaya because Pattaya has a very beautiful sea and also Pattaya has a very beautiful cinema to have the Ladyboy show. Yeah, Pattaya. How about the others? Phuket. Do you know Phuket?
Yes.
Yes, Phuket is a very beautiful city. And also some other peoples, they know Chiang Mai. Do you know Chiang Mai?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. That's more than enough. All right. So I list 4 big cities. I list 4 big cities for you to see. Firstly, Bangkok, because it's the capital city. Everybody should know the capital city of the countries. And the second one, Pattaya. Pattaya is a very beautiful beach city. And also Phuket. Phuket is the very good international tourism area. And starting from the 1st of July, starting from the beginning of this month, Thailand set Phuket as the special zone to welcome the international tourists. Yeah, they opened Phuket as the pilot project to see after they received international tourists, well, the COVID pandemic come again. So they are going to use this one as a sample. If Phuket is a success, so they will use this policy to several other big cities in Thailand. All right. Oh, sorry. And this is Khon Kaen. This is Khon Kaen, where I come from. This is the city where I come from. And you see the red line. Okay, in here. Could you please tell me what is this? Could you please tell me the land in here? What is this one? Hmm?
Is it Myanmar? I'm
No,
not sure.
I mean Myanmar is here.
Yeah.
Okay, but I want to ask you, what is this landscape?
Forest?
Forest. Okay, you can tell me forest. And if you ever use the Google Maps and to make it as the satellite map, I'm going to tell you the green one. The green one, it is a mountain. The mountain, as you're right, yes, mountain full of the forest. And how about the orange one? How about the orange one? The land. The land. But we also have some forest, but it's a land. The land is a very good place for making the plantation. For making the plantation. Okay, so the story starting from the year 1960. The year starting from 1960. At that time, before 1960, Thailand is a very poor. It's a very poor country. Very poor country. They do not have enough food to eat. They don't have enough food to eat. And the population, the growth rate is very high, more than 3. But the infrastructure is very poor. As I ever ask you, what city you know? Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, Chiang Mai. Bangkok is the capital city, but it is 50 times bigger than the second largest city, Chiang Mai. Bangkok is a big, is a huge, but Chiang Mai is as the second largest city, is a small younger brother. Bangkok is 50 times bigger than Chiang Mai, the second largest city. All right, so I show some of the photos for you to read. This is the Thailand before 1960. Ignore the black and white color. You can see the infrastructure is low. It's quite poor. And you see the transportation people using, they're using the motorcycle and very few cars. And the bridge, they're using a very simple way of the bridge. The bridge can open and close, right? The people, what are they doing? They're holding the things in their hand. They're using the simple way of the handicraft. All right. Because of the very poor situation, the World Bank suggests the government of Thailand to use the National Economic Development Plan, or we call NEDP. The World Bank suggests the government of Thailand to use this plan, and they suggest to use every 5 years. You have to renew your plan. Okay. The government of Thailand follow the suggestion from the World Bank. So the first national economic development plan starting from 1961 to 1966, they renew it every 5 years. And then we have the second and third national economic development plan, because with the implementation of the first national economic and development plan, the population growth rate has been controlled. And they try to decrease the population growth because at that time, Thailand do not have enough food to eat. And by applying the national economic and development plans for the over 15 years, 5 years, they try to plant more rice, they try to plant more sugarcane, rubber, cassava. And if you still remember the satellite map, they have a lot of forest. So the government tried to decrease the forest area and they use it for the agriculture. Because if you want to survive, you have to have more rice to eat. You have to need some food to eat. Okay. And in 1961 to 1976, the country built two big road from Bangkok to the north to Chiang Mai and to northeast to Khon Kaen and to south Songkhla. Okay. In the meantime, they also try to construct some big facilities such as dam. Dam. They are using the hydropower for the electricity, and they use the dam for making the irrigation for the agriculture. As I told you, Bangkok is 50 times bigger than the second largest city, Chiang Mai. So the government make it as decentralization. They plan to have some of the regional government office, such as Chiang Mai is the regional government office in the north, Khon Kaen as the regional government office in the northeast, and Songkhla as the South Regional Government Office. In order to let more people has the better education, the government fund some of the education university, such as my university, Kongan University, Chiang Mai University, and Songkha University. Those three universities are the national fund university. Most of them built established in 1964. Okay, in the first period of the National Economic and Development Plan period. Okay, you see the gap between the rich and poor before 1960. It is okay, but after applying the National Economic and Development Plan from the 1961 to 1976, the gap between the rich and poor become bigger. All right. So as the Thai government saw some success for the National Economic and Development Plan, they plan to renew it for the fourth to seventh National Economic and Development Plan, which is 1977 to 1996. At this period, the population and planning success, the population decreased and continued decreased. The food for all, and we have some of the rest of the agricultural product for selling to other countries, such as rice, such as sugar cane, such as cassava, such as rubber. Okay, we have some of the agricultural products, which is okay because we having the less population, but the agricultural plantation is high. So we keep something for our use and then we sell it out to the other countries to have more income. All right, so these are the things which Thai people always plant. Rubber. I think rubber Indonesia also has, and also the cassava, okay, and also the sugar cane. They even plant the sugar canes under the water. Okay. During the 4 to 7 National Economic and Development Plan from 1977 to 1996, we built a lot of the transportations. We built a lot of 4 highways from Bangkok to Chiang Mai to Khon Kaen to Tra. And also, in order to let more and more people get better education, the government fund more university, such as Ratchapat University, okay, and also some of the private university. And we try to build the electricity and automobile industry, the car industry, and also the telephone industry. This is we call the Eastern Seaboard. In order to let more and more investment come here, the government tried to open several of the seaport, to welcome the international cruise or the international logistic for offering more and more products to Thailand. Okay. So what happened? From 1977 to 1996? Because of the decentralization policy, we have several of the cities to be the new growth center, such as Chiang Mai, Khon Kaen, Songkha. Those 3 cities as the regional center, they built a very good example to be the urbanization, to do the urbanization. And from 1977 to 1996, the GDP growth, the economic boom, the GDP growth rate for the yearly plan is more than 10. The GDP growth more than 10 is very, very high, right? It's very much high. But We also have some of the problems, such as the natural resources problems. What happened? Because the government make more forest to be the land for the agricultural production. We have several of the flooding problems. We have several of the dried drought. During the dry season, the land is dry. They don't have enough irrigation. And we also have several of the social problems. We also have several of the social problems, such as we set several of the regional office, such as the Chiang Mai in the north, Khon in northeast, and Songkha in the south. So the people who live nearby, they want to survive, they want to live in the big cities. So they have to do the migration. They moved from their rural area to the big city and to work to survive. But maybe in the beginning, they could not bring their family go together. For example, the people who want to live in the big cities, so they travel from Yogyakarta to Jakarta. But in the beginning, they are very suffering, so they have to go by themselves alone. But if they go along, their parents or their kids or even their wife and husband cannot go together. If they go together, the costs of living will be very high. So if they go along, so they can save several of the money. But because of the migration problem, we have some broken family, which means like the husband and the wife go out to work, but they left their children at the rural area to let their grandparents to take care. So because of this one, even though we have a very good GDP, but we also have a very serious social problem. Okay, so in order to avoid this kind of things happening, the new policy let the social aspect move into the national policy. So the new name for the national plan. Previously, we called National Economic and Development Plan, but now we should focus on the social problems. So the government set National Economic and Social Development Plan. They try to focus on the social things. All right. So the result of the development, you can see the gap between rich and poor is getting bigger and bigger. And also, we have a very serious of the social problems. Unfortunately, we have a very, very serious economic crisis in 1997. We call Dongyangong economic crisis. Everybody know Dongyangong because it's a very famous Thai food. But, but in 1997, there is a nobody want to talk about Dongyangong because at that time, because of the decreased rate of the US dollar and also the decreased rate of the Thai baht, the economic crisis fall down, fall down for the whole Thailand and also impact to the Southeast Asia, including Malaysia and Indonesia. At that time, Indonesia rupiah has been decreased the value because of the US dollar decreased the value. Okay. In order to avoid, in order to avoid the Dongyangong crisis, the government try to support more agricultural products and make it to sell to the other countries such as rice, sugarcane, cassava, rubber, fruit, fish, fish as well, and also the animal. What kind of animal? Chicken, duck. Okay. And the government try to provide more education services to the labor, and they try to make the unskilled labor to semi-skilled labor or the skillful labor. Okay, and They try to support more education. They provide a loan. They can get the money from the bank for the higher education, and also start with the education business. By the time 1997 to 2001, we have a lot of vocational college. We have a lot of technical college built, established. Maybe at that time you guys were not yet born, right? Maybe most of you born in the year 2000, after 2000. So at that period, because of the economic crisis, the government also need to think how to solve the problem. How to solve the problem. All right. The things is getting better and better by the National Economic and Social Development Plan for the 9th to 12th batch, which is 2002 to 2021 to this year. And the government try to support skillful labor industries such as the automobile, like a car, computer equipment, electricity, electronic equipments. Okay. And a strategic for the regional urban and economic zone development, they try to increase more investment in a new economic zone. And in here, we have East-West Economic Corridor and North-South Economic Corridor. So what is that? What is the corridor? Okay, I highlight the things for you. The Thailand Center for the Economic Corridor. For the green one, you can see in here, we got two channels. Okay, we got two channels. We called North-South Economic Corridor. It is starting from my country, from China, okay, from China in Kunming, and then maybe they will pass to Hanoi. And then, but if they don't pass Hanoi, they will pass Phitsanulok in here. They will go use this line. Okay, and another line, they go to Vientiane, the capital city of Laos, and then they meet together in Bangkok. So the left side one, we called the land transportation, the highway. Okay, and the right one, the one we passed Laos, this one we call high-speed train. Okay, the high-speed train is supported by the Chinese government. The high-speed train is supported by the Chinese government. And the second one we call Southeast-West Economic Corridor, the blue one. It is connected by three countries, which is Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. And they're connecting the three big cities in the country, Bangkok, Phnom Penh, and Ho Chi Minh City. All right, and the last one, East-West Economic Corridor. It is starting from Myanmar. Okay, connecting to Thailand, and also connecting to my city, Khon Kaen, and then to Da Nang in Vietnam. You can see the important location of Khon Kaen. We're located in the cross point. We're located in the cross point. So Khon Kaen, as said, as the regional development office in the northeast part of Thailand, the location is quite important. All right. The Thailand economic collaboration between neighboring countries. We have several of the neighboring countries policy helping the development. We call it BIMSTEC. You can search on Google. It's called the Bay Development Collaboration, which is located in here. Okay, this circle. And also GT. You can search on Google as well. It is I forgot the full name. and also GMS. GMS is the Greater Mekong Sub-region, and ACMECS, and also ASEAN. ASEAN is the latest economic zone, economic region in the Southeast Asia. Let me ask you, how many countries in ASEAN? Anybody know? How many countries in ASEAN? Maybe I try to call somebody's name if I'm not. The pronunciation in Thailand for this lady should be Yat Lisa, but I'm not sure in Indonesia. Are you there? Am I calling the correct name?
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, also almost the same. They say, yeah, Lisa. It's totally Thai accent.
Yeah, Yat Lisa is a Thai name.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think she's not there.
Yeah, but yeah, Lisa. Sleep. Still sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So how about the lady who opened the camera? Yeah. Do you know how many countries in ASEAN?
10.
Okay, which 10?
Brunei,
Uh-huh.
Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Laos,
Okay.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka? No. No, 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 no. Sri
No,
Lanka
no, no, no,
is
no, no,
not
no.
in ASEAN.
Let me calculate. Oh, Vietnam,
Okay,
Thailand,
Vietnam, Thailand,
Malaysia,
Malaysia.
Indonesia,
You already said already before.
Myanmar, and Philippines.
You forgot Cambodia.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the 10 countries for the ASEAN. So the economic collaboration between Thailand, we have several of the collaboration for getting the economic better. And you see, the result of the development before 1960 is okay. It's still balancing. But after that, 1961 until now, the gap for the poor and rich is getting bigger and bigger. So we call the rich is richer and the poor is more poor. Uh-huh. So this is the history of the economic development in Thailand. Based on this one, what we need a digital economy and also sufficiency economy. What is the sufficiency economy? Let's see. In order to narrow the gap between the poor and the rich, the Thai government and also the king, the royal family, thinking about we should give some of the policy or the philosophy to make it not so serious. So they create the king Ramanai, Pumipung Aduyare. He create the sufficiency economic as the philosophy. Okay, and in order to avoid the GDP and also the GNP in Thailand, we create a GNH, growth national happiness, which means like they focus on happiness, and also we create several of the things called community economic. We want to make the natural resources and also our surrounding environment more harmony, which means like a win-win solution. Before the sufficiency economic, the Thai government and the Thai land use more forest for the development, which costs several of the natural resources. And you see, in order to build a dam, we also damage the biodiversity in that region, right? Before the dam we have some different species of the fish, but because of the construction of the dam, some of the fish, they cannot go across the dam, or some of the fish that before they go across the dam, they already die because when they making electricity, when they release the water, the stress of the water is quite strong for several of the fish, All right. So in now the national policy talking about sufficiency economic, talking about the growth national happiness, and also the community economic. They try to use this one to support the farmer, to support the farm, to support the community. Because as you may know, Thailand is the country supported by the agriculture, the people in Thailand, most of the people, let's say over 50%, they rely on the agricultural products. And they try to use the new theory, what we call the sufficiency economy, community economic, to create the happiness society, and make the sustainability, nature, and also the environment. All right, so before the sufficiency economics, what is the problem for the local farmer? What they are facing now? They are facing several of the problems such as lack of the water, and the land is not enough, and they don't have the money to buy the cash crops, or sometimes they do not even know how to plant the cash crops. They don't know what is cash crop, and also they do not have the money to buy the seed. In order to solve the problem, okay, we apply the sufficiency economy. We're going to use the new theory to help the people to manage the land, and also mixed farming. If you don't have time, if you don't have money, we create the cooperative fund for you. So let's see what the Thai people and what the local people do. First step, we call household level. Household level. The sufficiency economic for the philosophy of the sufficiency economics, they try to let the people separate their total land, the land use, into four parts, which the ratio is 3-3-3-1. Okay, the 30% you have to make it as the water pond. What is the water pond for? You can use the water pond for raising the fish, okay, and sometimes you can raising the duck, and sometimes you can raising the pig, okay, or maybe if you want to apply this one in Indonesia, you can raising the cow or the sheep as well, okay. So this is the 30% we call the animal, the animal part, and another 30% you can use it as the rice field, because everybody need to eat rice. Everybody need to eat rice in Thailand. In Thailand specifically, we have a lot of different rice. We have the jasmine rice. We even have the sticky rice. People plant a lot of rices, so the government or the philosophy suggests people to keep 30% to use as making the rice field, and another 30% you can plant the cash crops such as fruit. If you ever travel to Thailand, or if you ever travel to the rural area in Thailand, you can see every house they have mango tree. Every house they have a banana tree. Every house they have a lemon tree. When you go to ask them why you do like this, they said easy to plant and easy to get the fruit. and the only 10%, the only 10% for using as your housing. So you can see this, that you can see this kind of a theory. Give very less to yourself. You use as your necessary use to make it as your house. And the big amount of the land use you have to use for your survive. The animal, the pond, the water pond, and also the rice field, and also you can use another 30% for the fruit. And this is in the household level. Okay. All crops is for daily consumption. You see, for the first 30%, in here, they try to suggest people for the water for use, the agriculture, water for the agriculture irrigation as well. And you can feed the fish, you can even feed the duck there, the animal who need the fish, who need the water. And another 30% used as the rice field, because rice is the daily consumption. They have to use it every day. And another 10% for housing, for the animal feeding, such as chicken. And also another 30% fruit tree, vegetable, and herb. Do you know why they think like this? Because of the because of the Dong Yangon economic crisis. At that time, the development economic, the Thailand economic rely on import and export. But because of the Dong Yangon crisis, the people think, oh, if we rely on others, it might be different and it might be dangerous for us. We have to rely by ourselves. We have to keep ourselves survive. So they do like this. They have to plant and they have to manage very well. You see, if I have water, I can use the water to do the irrigation. And if I have the water, I can put the fish in there so I can gain the protein. And if I have the fish, I can let the duck to help the cleaning the virus so the fish can survive. And because everybody need to eat rice, so they plant a lot of a rice field for the 30%, and I can use it for the daily use. If I have a lot of the forest, I have a lot of rices, then I just sell to the market. I just sell to the market to have the money. And the fruit and the vegetables will also use for me. I can use it for the daily use, and then if I have more, I just sell it. So by this kind of a sufficiency economics, we can survive by ourselves. We can survive by ourselves. And then if I have more products, I just sell to the market to have the money. Okay. So the first step for the household level, we plant what you eat and eat what you plant. If you have too much products, just sell to the market. Okay, so this is the first step for the very, very small household level. You just eat what you plant and plant what you eat. All right. So we are moving to the second step, second level, we call it the village level. The village level, we try to gathering the products from the household and then sell the household products to the market. Okay. And we can help each other by offering the cooperative. Sorry. We can help each other to solve agricultural problems, to set up the cooperative. Okay, so here is the explanation. What is cooperative? A cooperative is the autonomous association of the persons united voluntary to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through the joint owned or the democratically controlled enterprises. So which means like every village they can have a cooperative organization, and this co-organization cooperative organization will help the people so that they have more volunteer, and they can help each other to solve the problem because they are the people, they are the neighbor from the same village. They should help each other. Okay, after the cooperative support, such as helping the people to gathering the agricultural products, helping the people to making the handicraft, and helping the people to support the finance and help them to have the better education, the health, and the culture, so they can create the village bank. The village bank. Okay, so the people create the village bank to keep the money or to keep the products there. The main function for the village bank is to household the debts. Okay, so they can support some financial loans for the villager to reduce the debts from the private lender. Okay, this will help the local people, especially the local uh, not well educated people, because they believe their villager leader very much. So if they have the very good village bank or they have a very good cooperative organization, the whole village could survive because they trust each other. After the village level, we're going to upgrade to the community level. Okay, the cooperative at the community level use the appropriate technology, such as the setting the standard and setting the standard to train the household level, to train the village level for produce the standard, the meeting the standard products. And then after that, they can the community level can cooperate with the market, and then they can sell the products to the domestically, and sometimes they can gathering the food and sell to different countries, such as nowadays China and Thailand is going to making a high-speed train. It's going to making high-speed train, and some of the trains has been implemented. But sometimes the Thai government said, "Oh, we do not have enough money, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Could we thinking another way to not offering the money?" And then what kind of a products they can offer? Thai rice. Thai rice is also very good export we call the value or the money. Sometimes the other countries said, okay, if you don't have money, then you just don't give me the money. You can give me replaced by the products, replaced by the products. All right. So this is the new theory from step one, step two, and step three, from the individual level to the village level and the community level. If but this is the ideally not the real situation. If we can do step one success and step two success and step three also success, then everything gonna be success. But when we implemented the sufficiency economy, is this so successful? Let's see. For the individual level, some of them is very success. But after we move into the second and third step, the implementation is very less successful. How come? How come? Why even the first step is not very success? Because the farmer, They could not manage their money. Once they have their own money, they like to buy the golden necklace. They like to buy the golden necklace to show how rich they are, to show how rich they are. And sometimes they want to, like, oh, my neighbor just buy a new house. I also want to have a new house. Or my neighbor just buy a new car, Toyota. I also want to buy a Toyota. Or my neighbor just bought an iPhone iWatch. I also want it. They do not know how to manage their money. And sometimes they like to drink alcohol. They like to drink alcohol. They like to advance their money to for the shopping. So they have to change their mindset. They have to change their mindset because because of the unable to manage the money. We also thinking several of the policy. They have to write their homework, write down the household account book because we want to know where their money goes. They have to take very detailed. Step one, oh, today I received how much, and step two, how much I spend it, and step three, how many balance left. The villager have to note their expenses every day, and by the end of the month, they have to calculate. They have to calculate because farmer is different. The occupation of the farmer and the worker is different. For the worker, you just working every day, but the company do not give you the daily salary. They will give you the salary by the end of the month. But the different thing is like the farmer, they have the product and then sell to the market. So they will have everyday money. In order to manage their money, they have to write down their daily household account book and what their paid goes, especially especially for the unnecessary expenses such as cigarette, the smoking, such as lottery. They think they can win a lottery, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 6 million, and some of them go to buy the alcohol. Actually, all those things they are not the necessary. I mean, necessary for the everyday use. Alcohol, cigarette, they are for, I don't know how to explain, for enjoy life. But for farmer, maybe their money or their savings is not yet okay for the enjoying their life. And you know, some of the shop, they separate the cigarette. They're not going to sell the cigarette by the box. They separate the cigarette, like 3 pieces of the cigarette. They sell to the farmer because they know farmer do not have that much money to buy the one box of the cigarette. In Thailand, cigarette is very expensive. It's very much expensive because of the tax is very high. If I'm not misunderstanding, the tax for the cigarette is 200%. It's a 200%. It's very high compared with Indonesia. Indonesia is the heaven for the smoker. Yes. And they have to cut their unnecessary expenses. So they have to change the farmer's mindset from theory to the sufficiency economics. Okay. So this is the example, but we have to know what the sufficiency economic is. In the May 2006, Kofi Annan, do you know this guy? Kofi Annan. He ever been the president of the United Nations, the chair of the president of the United Nations, travel to Thailand and give and present the King Bhumibol Adulyadej with the first ever United Nations Human Development Lifetime Achievement Award. This is the only award given until now. And for the philosophy known as the sufficiency economic, this idea, which first began to think by the king in 1972, and it is now seen as an important contributor to the United Nations International Development Goals. What is that? What is the sufficiency economic philosophy? Okay. The economic development must be done step by step, step by step. And it should begin with the strengthening of our economic foundation by assuring the majority of our population has enough to live on. Once reasonable progress has been achieved, we should then embark on the next step by purchasing more advanced level of economic development. So, by the sufficiency economy, because Thailand is the country of the Buddhism religion. So for the so for the Buddhism, people think we have to do the middle way, not too big or not too small, not too left, not too right. Okay, not too much, not too less. So the middle path for the sufficiency economy, we should have three dimensions. The first one, moderation. Second one, reasonable. And the last one, self-immunity. In order to have those three dimensions, we should adding the knowledge and moral. Sometimes the knowledge is not enough. We have to put moral. Moral is the common sense. Moral is the common sense for balancing the stability, sustainability of the economic, society, and also environment and the culture. Because of Buddhism religion, sometimes people will go to the middle path. They're going to do the middle way, not to harm, not to destroy the environment, and also in order to give more moral, we have to plant more forest, because in the beginning of the national economic and development plan, people destroyed a lot of forest in order to gain more agricultural products. But after we apply in the sufficiency economics, we have to pay the debt for what the people do already. We have to create more and more forest to balance the natural needs. We have to plant more and more forest to balance the natural needs. You know, sometimes the urbanization is a good thing, but sometimes the urbanization is not. Uh, I have to share one of the things which happened just 2 3 days ago in China, in my country. If you ever saw the news, in one of the city called Zhengzhou, they are having a heavy rain. They're having a heavy rain because of the Zhengzhou. Zhengzhou is the urban city, is the big city. They have more and more buildings, they have more and more infrastructures, and they have a more and more subway. Because of the heavy rain, they got a very serious flooding. They have a lot of flooding, and the flooding is sometimes over 1 meter high or 2 meter high, and we have several over 50 people passed away because of this flooding. Sometimes the urbanization, they are expanding the city, expanding the city. For example, previously this area, the city is this size, but they're expanding, big. What they do, they destroy the farmland, they destroy the forest to make it as a big city, as a big city. But the forest or the natural resources, sometimes they are very good for saving the water, right? I was wondering, if we do not have so many urbanization in China, maybe the disaster will be also decreased. Yes, and some of the very serious things happen in Thailand as well. We have several of the national parks. We have several of the national parks in north. If you still remember the satellite maps, in the north near Myanmar, we have a lot of a forest. We have a lot of a mountain. But because of the rich people, they want to have a build of their own house, so they go and destroy the forest, which will increase the danger of the natural disaster. Trust me. All right. So we are trying to use the sufficiency economy to balance the bad things we did before. The first principle of the sufficiency economy we call it moderation. And moderation means like not too little or not too much. This is from the Buddhism religion, a middle way for the economic planner, companies, and farms. The middle way between the extra advance and want to apply. At the company level, a view of the balance sheet and look for long-term profitability rather than just short-term success. Moderation means like you have to looking for the long term, not only for now, You have to have a very strategic planning for the near, like the nearest 5 years, and for long term another 10 years or 20 years. And when you planning to do the things, you have to think, am I going to damage the environment? Am I going to harm the animal's life? Okay, we call it the moderation. And the second one we call reasonableness, indicates the placance of the wisdom to decision making by looking for the consequences of the action, not just on the business or by the individual, but on the community and the environment and also society as a whole. Self-awareness is visual here too, as it's a compassion and an empath. So responsible. What I'm going to consume, is that really necessary? Because nowadays people are greedy. Let's say people are greedy. Human beings are greedy. Once they have the good things, they want to have a better things. Yes, honestly, people are greedy. And if you like, I don't know how to explain to you. Um, how many cars do you have in your family? Normally one family. No, you have more than one. Normally for one family, for a okay family now, they should have they are having more than two cars. They're having more than two cars. A car for how we say, for a daily use, and another car for holiday something. Yeah, is that really necessary? Is that really necessary? People think yes, it's very necessary now. I feel very people will jealous me because I'm rich. Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. If you have to think, the more car, you have to produce more carbohydrate, and that will be produce the greenhouse, and we're making the global warming, right? and sometimes people before 2 or 5 years ago, the if you ever have a Chinese friend, then when they inviting you for dinner or something, they will order a lot of food. They're going to ordering a lot of food because they think, oh, I treat my friends very well. But now the Chinese people also are changing their idea. We call it clean up what you order, clean all the things what you order. Because sometimes, like long time ago, uh, maybe 10 years ago, sometimes when Chinese people inviting the people for dinner or something, they order very huge, a full portion of the food on the table, but sometimes they cannot eat them all. So what they do, they just throw it away. This is a waste of the food. Yeah, this is very bad. And um, eating the buffet, people always like to they gathering more food than they could eat. And I remember when we were in the first year of the PhD study, me and Dr. Dia, we joined one of the a trip to Sandy Asok. Do you remember Asok? Yeah. There are several of the village in Thailand we call truly sufficiency economic. They working for the community, do not need any money, and the village, the community give them the house to stay. And once they got sick, the village send them to the hospital. Once their kids need to go to university, the village paid. But all the household, they have to contribute the community together. And then and then some of the people, their responsibility for the agricultural plantation. Some of the household in charge for the planning, to making the food for the everyday use, and some of the people are in charge for the skill improvement. Yeah, this is the truly sufficiency economics. I really hope that maybe in the next future, after the COVID pandemic, we can go together to this kind of village to see how the people really do for the sufficiency economics. Okay, and this is we call responsibility. Responsibleness. You, when you're purchasing something, you have to think whether it is really necessary, whether it is really responsible. Okay, and the last one we call self immunity. The third one, system of the self immunity, a framework of the guards against the impact of the external. External. In here, we focus on the external. If you still remember the 3331, the housing structure, 30% for water, 30% for the rice plantation, 30% for the fruit, and 10% for your own house use. They said by using this kind of the construction, we can achieve the self semi-immunity, because they're similar to the risk management. You can have to, because the risk management, they said, come not only from the good planning but also from the investment in research and development, cultivation of the innovation, and adoption of the appropriate and use of the technology by the village, by the individual, by the household level. This kind of a 3331 is quite success. It's quite success. If you go to see the household in a rural area, most of the rural area, they apply this kind of structure. They apply this kind of structure, and you can see by even the COVID-19 pandemic is quite serious now in Thailand. In Thailand, you did not see any increasing of the beggar on the street. The people, they can survive by themselves because they have enough food to eat, they have enough rice, they have enough fruit, and they have enough protein, such as the fish, the meat from the fish, the meat from the pig, and also the meat from the chicken. They can survive easily. But for, and the one, you know who is the one who can, that they cannot survive? Worker. They go to the big city. They go to the big city, and the big city locked down. They do not have this kind of housing structure. They don't have enough rice, because they don't produce the rice. So they have to use the money to exchange the rice. But if we look back to the individual, to the household level, they have rice, they have fruit, they have enough protein. They can gain enough protein to keep them healthy, right? Okay, so all three are governed by the principle of the knowledge. Okay, and the knowledge here has a meaning similar as to wisdom, a kind of throughout the knowledge. It means like gathering information, interpreting it correctly, and having the prudencing to use the knowledge well. Decision should thus be the government by the ethic as well, or we call it moral, which here means honesty, straightforward behavior and integrity, as well as the tolerancing, perseverance, and the willingness to work with others without exploitation. Means like if you have a very good moral idea, you will not jealous on the other people. They have their own way to survive. It is their way. For us, we just live on our own way. We can have our own better life. So just be peaceful, peaceful. And now a lot of people come to Thailand to do the meditation. Come to Thailand to do the meditation, especially the Chinese people, honestly, because they think, oh, my heart is upside down, upside down. Sometimes the people near my neighboring people, they are rich. I jealous of them. So the sufficiency economy or the Buddhism religion teach people you have to be ethic or moral. You do not need to jealous the other people. You are your own. You are your own. You don't need to be jealous. Maybe the people will jealous you, especially when they have the disaster or the risk management. Okay, so the conclusion for the sufficiency economy, especially when we applying the middle path, the human resources development will be adding to helping the sufficiency economy, especially for changing the mindset for the local people, for the farmers, and for the farmers who purchasing for the unnecessary daily use, such as the cigarettes, such as the lottery, such as uh, the alcohol. The lottery. Let me tell you a very funny story. The social media in Thailand, they always share, oh, who win the number one, who win the 6 million baht, and then people suddenly found, oh, it is my neighbor. How come my neighbor wins 66 million baht, which I cannot? So some of the people they might jealous. Okay, I also need to buy. I also want to buy, but they do not know. Only one people win 6 million baht in whole Thailand, and the other people win nothing. And for the lottery, now one pieces of the lottery 100 baht. 100 baht is very expensive now, actually, for the lottery. 100 baht for one pieces of the lottery. The the living standard, the living standard is 300 baht per day. The minimum living standard is 300 baht per day. You see, a lot of people they're borrowing the money to buying the unnecessary expenses. They just dreaming they can win the six million baht. And some of the people say, oh, my neighbor got a necklace, very big necklace, very very nice, I want to have a necklace too. But sometimes they have to understand, maybe the neighbor has some friends to support, or they just sell the car. Maybe they do not know. After they sell in the car, they have the money to buy the gold necklace, right? Okay, so for the new theory we call the upside down, or we call we from the little to the big one, from the individual to the village and to the community or the cooperative level. We should have we after we apply in the new theory for the land use management, we can have more product, and if we have more product, we can sell on the market. After we have the more product, and after we have the more money, we can be wealthy. And after we have the wealthy, we can go check out our health problem. We will become healthy as well. All right. So the conclusion: after 1996, after 1997 to 2006, the rich is getting richer. Okay, the poor is getting poorer. So which need us to apply the new theory for the sufficiency economics, applying the internet help. Applying the internet help. Internet means external, external knowledge, external knowledge. After we making our own sufficiency economy, we also need to learn from the others, such as they might asking, oh, Indonesia has the sufficiency economy. Maybe we can learn from Indonesia. That Singapore has the sufficiency economy. Maybe we can learn from Singapore. Japan has it. China has it. We can learn from each other by what? By not by using internet, because nowadays we can gathering all the information from the internet, and we don't need to even go there to see. All right. Uh, I'm not sure whether I finish 1 hour and 20 minutes or not.
Need
so
more.
so hopefully you can understand the things for the sufficiency economy, especially under the COVID-19 pandemic situation nowadays. Surviving by small part, expanding to the bigger and higher part should be step by step, as the the Buddhism religion always said, middle way, middle path. So sometimes the philosophy of the sufficiency economy combining not only the original philosophy, also plus the regional idea, the religion idea. Yeah. Hopefully you can get something, sharing something from me. Thank you, D.
Thank you so much, Dr. B. It's really interesting, and every time I hear about sufficient economy is the memory of we are suffering of our
Yes.
PhD life.
Yes.
Not the good things, but
That's true.
suffering. And,
That's
like
true. That's true.
I remember the Asok one that we cannot
Oh
drink,
yeah.
and like we cannot drink coffee, we cannot go to 7-Eleven. Something.
No, they just like a very basic need, right? They just offering the
Yes.
basic need. There's a no Coca-Cola, no ice.
No,
What they have just like rice. They have mangosteen. They have some a drink. That's it. They don't have enough things like more than you requested. They don't have it.
even we do not have any snack, right?
No, no. They have the snack, the dry banana.
Oh, yeah, dry banana. Yeah, they sell the dry banana,
Yeah.
and we eat only one in a day.
Yes. Once a day.
Once in a day. So it's just like we are doing the fasting.
Yes. Incredible.
Incredible. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. B. Would like to have another 10 or 15 minutes for you if you have any questions concerning the sufficiency economy. As you know that this is a very interesting principles, which is some of them are successfully implemented, but yeah, again, the human behavior is also the challenge behind it,
Yes.
like the consumption, massive consumption, and then consuming on the on life, daily life
That's right.
need, something like that. But one of that we already have the experience is Asok. Probably you can also reading about Asok community. I will,
Sandy Asuk.
yeah, Asok community in the website. Yeah, and then you can find how they survive and how they success, something like that. And it's really incredible that we can see the teenagers who wants to go to the Konkan University, to the public universities. They're supporting the money, the
Yes. Yes.
institutional free, yeah, from their own money, because they're selling a lot of things. Like even they make soap by
Yes.
themselves, right? We still
Yes.
remember. I buy a lot of soap from there.
That's true. They're very skillful people.
Yes, you're right. And I still remember we are not using sandal. We just walk.
True.
It's good experiences
That's
for
right.
having that one. A so community. Hopefully in the next
Yes.
ideals, it's not only in the online. We can go
Yeah, true,
traveling
true. You
to
should come on
Thailand.
site.
Yes, you're right, and stay in Asok community. I think they also opened it for
Yes.
public.
Yes. Yes. We can
For
we can
us
make a
seniors.
request. We can make a
Yeah.
request to the university.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hopefully from Malaysia, from Indonesia, we can propose that to be our additional program. It's really interesting just staying there for 3 days, not more for 3 days, please. Okay, 3 days, because I will be your facilitator, but no more than 3 days. Okay.
And you have to get away from your internet, from your telephone
Yes.
as well.
Yes. That's good that your teacher will not calling you and our boss is not calling us.
They call this like how is it, utopia?
Yeah, utopia. Yeah, utopia. That's correct. Okay. If you have any questions, I will open some Q&A since we had the Dr. B in here. You can ask us also about ASOC.
Yes, yes,
Our
yes.
challenge there. I remember yung alay yung
Yo,
the mosquitoes. We cannot kill the mosquitoes, which is
no,
a lot of
no killing,
mosquitoes.
no killing, no killing,
No killing. So you
no,
can imagine.
and no air condition. There's no
No,
air condition, just fan, just fan.
and sleep in and it's not there's no bed but
No, no
yeah
bed on the
we
floor.
sleep in the yeah.
Sleep on the
I
floor.
remember that one. Yeah, we sleep it in floor. And it was a summer, I think, in
Yes, very
Asok.
hot, very
Very
hot and
hot
humid.
with, with no sandals. So you
No,
can imagine how we can walk and then say, ow, 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 ow.
yes, very pain,
Very pain. But
very much
I
pain.
think this is, for them, it's a usual thing for having this. And also, what else? Yeah, the interesting also the mosquitoes because I
Oh
remember
yeah,
you I'm just like what is that? Automatically clapping. And then he said, no, 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 no. Oh, sorry. So for
yeah.
you, if it is in Asok, you cannot kill mosquitoes.
Yeah, and you know that community is very very, how is it, very open mind to accept different religion. They
Yeah.
even have church. They have a
Yes.
church there. You
Church.
remember the foreigner, the Falang,
Yeah. They
United
have
States,
church.
and he stay there. And
Mhm.
then they have their own religion, and they have a Buddhism religion. They have the Christian religion. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
good.
very okay.
It's very good. So I also remember I used hijab in there and they are also
Yeah,
welcoming. And
yeah.
don't worry, there is no pork there because all of them are
All
vegetables.
vegetarian. Yeah, all vegetables.
We
There's
can eat
mushroom.
freely.
Yeah, you don't
For
need to pay
Muslim,
anything. You don't
yeah,
need to
we
pay
are.
anything. You just go there and to observe what they're surviving. And to be a good observer, you also need to participate of their
Yes,
daily activity to see
yes.
how they plan the things, how they draw the picture, how the
Mhm.
kids learn.
Yeah, and also they have the kindergarten
Yeah,
level. Yeah,
yeah,
and supporting a lot of religions with the
that's
Christian
right.
and also Buddhist. Yeah,
That's
that's
right. It's a very good
interesting.
one.
It was very interesting. The Asok. Yeah, it's a kind of one of the good
Yeah,
example of
true.
sufficiency economy. How many ASO community in
Yeah,
Thailand?
six big
Six.
Aso community. Six, not too
Wow.
big, not too much.
Previously, I heard it's only four ASO is already developed. Now
I
it's
don't
already
know.
six.
Six, yes.
Six. Wow, it's incredible. Incredible. Okay. Other, if you have any questions.
No.
Oh, Laili Amatullah. Okay, please, Laili.
Okay. I want to ask why Thailand can waste management from agriculture sector?
Okay, why Thailand can manage the agricultural sector? Is that right?
By the historical view, Thailand is the country full of the agricultural products. So they planned it, they survive it, or they manage it since their grandparents. So they have the history of managing the agricultural products. And as I show you in the satellite map, Thailand has a very big land differences from the Indonesia. Indonesia is the country full of the islands, but for the Thailand is the country full of the land. The land has a very good fertilizer, so they can produce a lot of products, especially for the daily consumption products such as rice and also the cash crops such as the cassava, such as the durian, such as the jackfruit, such as the other fruits. And you know, the tropical area, the tropical rainforest area, they have enough rain, they have enough irrigation. Unless you have the very good fertilizer for the land, you can well manage. For example, for my house, I just put the seed on the ground, and the next day it will be booming. Yeah,
Mm.
the fertilizer is good, but honestly, in Indonesia has a very good paddy field.
Yeah.
The rice field is also wonderful in Indonesia, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the challenge in Indonesia is high population.
Yes, you
So
have very, very high population compared with Thailand. I forgot to mention about this one. The territory, Indonesia is 4 times bigger than Thailand, but the population is 10 times bigger than the population in Thailand.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so you can see the in Thailand, if especially in the northeast area, if you drive along the highway, all farmland.
Yeah,
After
I
you
remember
getting
that.
after you getting out of the city area, you will see all farmland. But in Indonesia, is after you getting out of the highway, all house, all the
Our
house,
houses.
house, all the house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the challenge in Indonesia.
And
Why
also
we are
the territory,
developed
the,
so
the,
much.
the, the users of the territory.
Yeah, because we put the we in this year we try to have the paddy field. In the next year we have the house.
Yeah, because
That's the
sometimes the,
differences.
the 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 population growth rate is also difficult to control in Indonesia.
Yeah,
Maybe by the religion, you want to have more kids or something.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but now it's very tricky in Thailand. Thai people do not want to have more kids.
Oh,
Yes, they do not want to have more kids. Like a son
mhm,
of our lecturers in the university. I said,
mhm.
oh, they said, B, you have 2 kids, right? Yes, I do. I asked them, how many kids you have? 2. Oh, really? You have 2 kids? Yes, 2 cats.
Two cats.
2 cats.
So the kids is becoming cats.
Yes.
So it
And
means that I have 3 kids, 1 kid and 2 cats.
yes. Yeah, so
Ah,
they're changing their view, their idea to having must have a kid into I should have someone to accompany me, or
okay.
some animal, some pet to accompany me.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. I found it several these types of family too.
Oh, a lot. Actually, a lot. Because raising a kid is not as easy as the people thought.
Yeah,
You
indeed.
have to pay, you have to take care, if have to when they grow up, they have to go to the school, they have to receive the basic education, you have to think to a lot for the kids. But kid, cat or dog is okay, you come and eat and then go sleep.
Only give the food and they
And yeah,
enough.
I sometimes touch them. Oh, okay, I take a shower. Okay, bye bye, sleep. Nothing.
Yes, you're right. Not that complicated of life.
Oh yeah, sometimes for the kids, you sometimes have to be very angry if they do something wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always hit my son.
Discipline, huh? Okay. Do you have any questions more, Mbak Laili?
No, no. Thank you, lecturer.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Laili. I know that the challenge in Indonesia, previously we have the agriculture sector increasingly, but after our third president, it's yeah decreasing because of the
Changing.
populations. Yeah,
Yeah, also the policy change.
policy changes. So now it's less for agriculture to support. Okay, other if you have any questions. or still sleeping? I think your presentations, your lecturing is give us clearly perspective concerning the sufficiency economy. But again, if it is if you start it from the village, it will be quite difficult. Just start it from your life, your own life. Yeah, just that is why I shared to Dr. B. Now I'm raising catfish and chicken, and then I planned. I planned jumbo.
Oh yeah.
A lot of jumbo, 200 plant in Purworejo, and also catfish and a lot of fish. But I do not plant the paddy field. Probably I will import it from Thailand. I cannot plant it. I only have
that tired. Yeah, Thailand has a lot of
very
paddy
tired.
right? Yes.
I'm afraid after teaching, and then I plant a paddy again, and then teaching again, or teaching while I'm planting the paddy. It's quite challenging. We started from our own environment. For example, if you raise the catfish, and you can raise the morning glory. What is that? Morning glory plantations. It's very basic. And other things, probably you can plant a lot of things that easy in your life, daily life, so you do not need to buy a lot of things from the groceries, or probably you can sell after it's already bloom, and then you can sell. Okay, I think it's already enough, and it's already almost 9:30. So thank you so much, Dr. B. I know that after this you will have a lot of class to teach.
Yes.
So you will stick with the batik with you.
Daily life, so you do not.
Okay, thank you so much for your coming, for your lecturing. And also on behalf of Department Economics, we also thankful, but we always invite Dr. Chuan Chen B in UMY. I know you are, some of you recognize him a lot of things, with a lot of things like qualitative, and then after this it is qualitative now.
Quality only.
Yeah, sharing because I also teach the research methodology. I think I will invite you to share the qualitative. He is the expert of qualitative in PhD life. I always ask him about the qualitative, and he asked me about quantitative. So we always exchange our knowledge for the research methodology. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. B. We hope we will meet you again soon, inshallah.
Sure.
And also for the audience participant, thank you so much. If you want to hear again what Dr. Chuan Chen B already shared, you can find in our YouTube. So thank you so much. We will meet you again in the next module for the participants. And don't you forget to check the evaluations, monitoring and evaluations, like the examination, learning outcomes questions. So you have to do some of the small exam for each modules. And for Dr. Chuan Chen B, I will make some exam for you from his presentations. Thank you so much, Dr. B. We'll meet you again.
Sure. Okay. I sent the PDF, the PowerPoint to you maybe this morning, the early morning. You can share to the students.
Okay, thank you so much. I will send to the my class. My class is our e-learning system.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Hope to see you again through WhatsApp or online.
All right, good. Okay. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe, everyone. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. B.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good day. Bye-bye. Okay.
Send my regards to Yang.
Okay, I will. I think they still.
Okay.
All right. Good day, now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.